I have a problem. I have a million sewing projects I'm working on, but I keep coming up with new project ideas instead of finishing the ones I'm working on. So how am I gonna solve that today? I'm not. Today, I'm making as many weird cosplay designs as I can. These are all going to be inspired by the characters, rather than accurate cosplays. Also, I don't know the difference between costumes and cosplay, if cosplay is just supposed to be anime or what, so these are just any fandoms I like. Starting with Avatar The Last Airbender, because I'm genuinely so excited to show you guys these ideas. First, I wanted a challenge. So I decided to try making a gown inspired by Toph. When I think of Toph, the last thing I think of is dancing and sophisticated balls. She seems like she wouldn't want to be there, largely because of the undermining, not only of her strength in that kind of event, but how people act. It really does make me think of the short and bossing Say when she's bullied, and the one moment she feels good about herself. Thus, I decided to make this gown everything that Toph is and deserved to feel in that moment. Powerful and beautiful. So I took the belt and turned that into a full corset. I kept the layers of her normal outfit, while turning the green into not only a gown, but a gown with very cool sleeves. I love a good sleeve, and honestly, I adore this design so much. So now that I led with Toph, let's talk Azula. This idea is kind of wild, and I would like to acknowledge that before moving forward. It is an idea. Are we on the same page? No? Okay, let me explain. It starts with a Fire Lord Azula gown, which is a really exciting design. If I make this, I want to go slightly crazy on bedazzling, on trim, on beading, all the things that signify a ruler, which may be because the kingdom is rich or because the ruler is getting rich off of the kingdom. Interpretation is up to you. But then it would transform. That's right, it's a transformation gown. I imagine almost a darker Cadet Kelly moment where the fabric would be representative of firebending, and it would be some kind of lace-up in the back of the dress. That way, the moment would move from firebending directly into the Fire Lord turning into fire itself. And I do mean a fire gown. Glitter, layers of fabric, maybe some airbrushing. I just think over the top. That's kind of my vibe anyways. How can I make something harder on myself? It's fun. And here it is. From Fire Lord to pure fire. Lastly, for my avatar designs, is a Ty Lee look. For her, I was inspired by her time as a performer. I wanted this outfit to be more reminiscent of a show look, a fun dance or acrobatics trick, and so I tried to make it very blinged out with all the gems and jewels. However, I did want to stay true to the original colors of her design. So if you look at the placement of all the colors in the outfit, you'll see that they correspond to those same colors on her canon outfit. There's probably a lot of work for little reward, but you have to do the things that make you happy in projects like this. Honestly, this character is one of the few that I think I genuinely look like, so one day I think it'd be fun to also do a genuine one-to-one cosplay of her. But here's the final design. Now let's go on to Disney, because I am who I am. First up, I have to tell you about Cinderella, because this design is a favorite for me. Once again, it is a transformation gown because I want to get good at those. It's a skill I want to put in my book even if it kills me. But Cinderella. Both of these designs are a combination of both the Disney original and the 2015 remake, because those costumes own my entire soul. Starting with the pink dress, I imagine using a lot of lace and trim on this one. I love the very soft, flowy look of the live action. So I would like to try to capture that feeling while still referencing the original film with the bow and some of the specific lace placement. It would then transform to this blue gown. I would like it to be more of an ombre with a softer blue, perhaps even like that gray silver, but I don't know how I'd do that with a glitter fabric. I guess I'll find out. And trust me, I will. I kept the hip puffs from the original design, but the Bertha and the butterflies are too much for me to pass up on. So I tried to incorporate that look into our hip puffs as well. Genuinely, I'm obsessed. And if I don't eventually make this transformation gown, it'll be because I'm dead. Next up is the design that really started this video. There's this amazing cosplay someone did where they took Meg from Hercules and armored her up. And I want to do that too. However, I didn't want to steal any of their ideas. This is the creator of that, by the way. Her links are in the description. So I made sure not to look at any of these amazing photos while I was designing. Instead, I took inspiration from both historical armor from ancient Greeks and Romans, and from Hercules himself in the film. I went with a similar armor set to her love interest, keeping the swirls as a reference to him. I then gave her a similar cape and added her see-through shawl on top. Half of this costume is honestly layering. I then added lots of jewelry and some semi-time period accurate makeup. Genuinely, Greeks and Romans had far more access to makeup than I initially thought, though of course it was also rather dangerous considering lead poisoning alone. But that's a topic for if I actually make this cosplay. I hope you like the design. But since we're talking warriors, let me show you War Elsa. So first off, she has pants. This is basically a combination of both her original design in Frozen and the outfit in Frozen 2. I wanted the textures and coloring of the first outfit and the gem design from the second film. And as much as I love that part of the design, let's talk about the warrior element. I had this idea that she'd have armor made of ice. I mean, the helmet alone is basically a bunch of icicles. It's not practical, and I don't even know if it would look good or be safe. Then again, I don't know if I could make it at all. I lean towards resin as a tool since that could be made clear or more like realistic ice, but I'm not sure how I'd attach it to make it stay. I think this would be a real challenge to make, but boy would that be fun. And this idea led me to making a Rapunzel version. However, while Rapunzel started out as a more warrior-inspired look, I personally view her as more of a magic user. Perhaps a cleric if we're talking in D&D terms. While she has armor, I couldn't resist overwhelming the top of it with flowers, and the same gems in her crown. I then made her outfit less of a dress and more like a butt skirt with a split in the middle. Then with her look, I had to add a staff, and I was inspired by the floating lights to make it glow. I think this would be the conduit of her power, and so I wanted to have both a natural feeling of wood and nature combined with the lights. I personally adore this design, and I hope to make it sooner rather than later. Next, I went with a little more movie-accurate Tinkerbelle. I made her design overall simple with the idea that she's wearing a flower itself. I thought that would be fun layering-wise, because this garment would really be entirely about textures, intricate details I could choose to add in and the like, but the wings are my favorite detail. I've been toying with wing implications for a while. What I mean by that is a garment to suggest wings without the full wire getup. Because as much as I love those, I want practical ideas for performances like dance costumes or for a play. And online, I saw someone wearing fabric wings just laying there on their back, and it was like a light bulb went off in my head. I want to see how they'd work, how they'd look, and I think Tinkerbelle would be an amazing test for it. But Tinkerbelle is hardly the last Disney character for me to turn into a design. Now next is Mushu. I had too much fun with Mushu. I started with the knowledge that the colors needed to reflect his as well as where they went. Because of his whiskers, I decided on a lace-up corset with pointed fingers. Nope, not fingers. I decided on a lace-up corset with pointed shoulders, the only hint of purple for his cute little horns. Beneath, I wanted the color to be the same as his stomach patch. I also decided that I wanted to reference that he is a long boy, noodle adjacent, by doing an unusually long train for a dress like this. Honestly, I think this is such a fun design, and I adore it. And I hope I'm not the only one. Last but not least in the Disney category is a character no one asked for. Do you remember Kevin from Up? Yeah, this design is a fever dream that I did at 2 a.m. while watching Up, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Birb. So to reference the feathers on the top of her head, I put feathers on the top of mine. Then the neck is also meant to represent, you guessed it, the neck. I put teal beads coming down in a half necklace situation to represent the wing color. Then it's down to the sunset leotard and this feathery overdress. I wanted it to be open in the front so that you still get the effect of the legs. And I couldn't resist making the leggings with these heart cutouts. Looking at that now, I don't know how I'm gonna make that, but here we are. My finished look for all those Up fans who did not want this. Alright, I lied. In my defense, I do keep forgetting that Star Wars was bought by Disney. So one last Disney design. Let's make an Asoka gown. I remember watching Clone Wars as a kid with my dad, and I was absolutely enthralled by Asoka. I enjoyed the films as a kid, but I didn't really connect the same way that some other kids did. I remember one of my sister's friends being obsessed. We only ever played Star Wars with her, and that was fine by me, but I got it when I watched Clone Wars. Of course, I fell off watching when I got busy at school, so I left off when Asoka was just starting to level up and grow, so I wanted that version of her outfit and look to be the main inspiration for her gown. I gave her silver accents, chains, and a whole breastplate to still reference her power, brighter white patterns on the red to tie in with her montrails, the head tails, her facial markings, and as a reference to her pants, which are hidden by the skirt, I gave her diamond cutouts on the gloves. This project would be insane to make, but I think it's really fun. Next up is a weird idea. I was thinking about making a Grinch transformation gown for Christmas. This one is extra rough, so forgive me, but my thought was a Grinch dress with a heart, and when you rip the heart, it transforms into a Christmas gown. I really like the idea, but I'm uncertain about my design. The Grinch look is tiered and fluffy like a Christmas tree, and that's not quite the Grinch's vibe. Maybe I need something more fuzzy and wild. I don't know. As well as that, the Christmas dress I designed is this high-low with fur trim, and that's also fun, but I don't know, this project just has me very shaken. So I'm going to think about this design a lot in the coming months. And with any luck, there will be a 2024 Grinch transformation gown. Any input is welcome for this puppy, cause woof. But I didn't want to leave this cosplay idea dump on a sour note. So I present to you one last outfit, a Gardevoir inspired dress. For Gardevoir, I wanted it to stay relatively simple, so I followed the original design fairly closely. There's some billowy sleeves to represent her club arms, and I'm going for some kind of 3D material for the pink piece on her chest. I thought it'd look cute as an undershirt situation. Maybe flowers? I also want to add a trim on the bottom, but I'm undecided on white like the original, green, or pink. Maybe even pink flowers? And to represent the facial spikes, I put this cute little crown thing together, and I love it. I want to make that so bad. But there you have it. That's my cosplay idea dump for the week. And honestly, I feel a lot more focused now that they're a system. And with any luck, you'll actually see some more sewing projects in the coming months. If you enjoyed watching me dump out this barrage of sewing ideas, maybe you'll like this video where I design the 7 Deadly Sins outfits, because let me tell you, I'm excited to get the ball rolling on that series. But if you prefer to actually see me sew something, I've got a fun little playlist right here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you.